All right. So another haul video for you folks. I know it's been a bit. It's been a little while since we've gotten together. Welcome to new subscribers that have joined on in the past 4 weeks. Very, very huge welcome to you. And you folks that started following us at the Edmonton Expo. Thank you so much. We're going to hopefully go through some of the stuff that we got from you in this video because there was so much goodies that we picked up at the Edmonton show. And that really is the reason for it being a while since we've had a video. We kicked it into hard production leading up to that show. And then the Panel 1 show here in Calgary as well. So we have lots of goodies to go through and share with you. And I'm not by myself this time. It's me and Charles here. Charles.
Hello, I'm here. I am here as well.
Yeah. All right.
I didn't buy as much as Gord, but I got a pretty good haul as well.
Yeah, I went a little crazy at the show. I was really excited to show some stuff off on the channel and read through some of the glorious, glorious work that was on display there. So there's going to be a few names I think that pop up a lot in our discussion, just because, we needed to get everything at that person's table, as much stuff as I could get. I'm sure I'll be chiming in as you go because I've got there's a little bit of overlap, not a ton, but there's a little bit of overlap and a couple of extra things I got from a couple of folks that I'll show as well. Definitely. So I think a good place to start here is this pile, and you've got a similar pile of like mini comics, zines, and other ephemera. I'm excited about this. So the first thing that is on the top of my stack here is Cam Hayden's Oddballs of Country Music and then Attack of the Mole Men. These are both, all of these card sets are things that I picked up from his booth specifically. Attack of the Mole Men being something that he put together with Chad Colpitz and Bill Bateman. Fun, absolutely fun stuff. I'm really curious as to what kind of production went into this and how much it cost them to make, because I want to do one now.
Yeah, it was funny, leading up to the expo when you picked those up, I was thinking about trading cards. Yeah. And starting to look at, but I was thinking more in just sort of thing that I would just do for sketches and, a little stuff to sell at cons.
Yeah.
Because you could riff on Pokemon cards, you could riff on sports cards, everything. And it's awesome to see some people are way ahead of us as usual.
Yeah, definitely. I just like it when people can combine a couple of mediums together. In Oddballs of Country Music, it was more standalone. Like each card was a card, like a collector's card, like you would get. But then this one, the Attack of the Mole Men, this one's got a complete narrative. So it is a comic. It reads like a comic. On the back, you've got cell phones. And you can see how the situation with the cell phone just gets worse and worse in the various cell phones.
Oh, so he's worked the dialogue in that way.
Yeah, he's worked a whole story in that way. And
that's pretty smart.
Yeah, it was wonderful to read. I was sad that it was over so quickly because, I definitely want more. And hopefully you guys are going to put something together. You can see the wax package, right? A really basic wax package. And then tongue-in-cheek comics, which I believe is Chad Colpitz's thing that he does solo, and he works with Cam Hayden on an awful lot of stuff on. But one more thing before I move on from these cards is the wonderful OG sketch that Cam puts into a pack. So Cam threw in, wonderful original art.
Cool.
Art card in there. I'll blow you a honk, baby. Nice. That's awesome. Nice, Cam. Excellent work. So fun. And then on the back of that, I guess, with Cam, continuing with Cam stuff, is I picked up this little bootleg Batman that he did. I was so delighted that ours wasn't the only bootleg Batman at this show. And lo and behold, it was Cam that did the other one. So his is pretty awesome. Like he took the first issue of the first appearance of Batman, redrew it and reworked some of the dialogue, and it's hilarious. It's totally hilarious. Kind of grounding his in more of that time and place of when this came out. Really fun, and you can tell he's a big Batman fan to do something like this. So that's
really nicely done.
Very beautiful little book. Yeah, really easy to read. His fonts were just perfect size for me to dive into. So that was fun. Maybe just one more of Cam's zines. Do you have any of Cam's stuff handy too?
I want to show this as well, though.
Yeah.
So Cam has started being published in Freaky magazine, which I could be wrong, but I think some of the folks from Mad Magazine may have had something to do with Freaky. And this is much more based around, underground comics kind of ideas rather than what even more subversive than Mad Magazine.
Hell yeah!
And to me, it takes Mad Magazine, something I loved when I was young, and propels it now to where I feel I am, as an old person. And it's all really good. I haven't looked through all of this yet. But it's just really subversive, really, really nicely crafted stuff, and it's just
totally Mad Magazine stuff, right?
Like I said,
it's a freaky traffic jam, like something you would see from Sergio, but
it takes it and just propels it to kind of where we are now as an audience.
Yeah.
Because does Mad Magazine even work anymore? When we talk about things from our sort of nostalgic,
right.
This is how you make it work.
Hell yeah.
So I was able to get the last issue that Cam had on hand, and felt pretty good about that.
Sweet. He also had this little ditty, Beverly, which, it's a take on the Beverly Hill. I don't even know what to call this. The best stuff is hard to sort of sum up, I think. But this one was taking the Beverly Hillbillies theme song and like making a different narrative while the people are speaking the song.
Yeah, recontextualize it.
Yeah, so much fun. Just a quick little thing, and it got me thinking about what other TV shows could be riffed on in that same manner. Yeah, cool stuff there.
We should do one about the Cheers theme song.
Yeah, Cheers totally crossed my mind, or Full House.
We should just rip Cam off completely and.
The guy's brilliant.
He's good. He seems to be, so much of where my thinking goes, I always find out that Cam and Rick Overwater are already there.
Yeah, they're doing it. I'll just switch away from Cam for a sec. Michael Mcadam was one of the guests at the show in Edmonton.
Yeah, these chick
tracks.
Yeah,
you picked those up too, eh? Well, How can you not? Like, these are awesome. So Michael Mcadam, in case you don't know him, he's been around the comic scene in Calgary for a very long time, here in Alberta, for a very long time. I've seen viral videos of him kind of floating around out there, not to do with his comic work, but I don't know if he still works for them, but there's a video of him on a WestJet. He was a attendant on a WestJet.
Okay.
Thing, and he's got a whole mime routine that he did. And it went viral. Yeah. And he's such a pleasant man. So
I probably have seen it and didn't even.
Probably.
That was Michael.
Yeah, it's out there.
And he's always one of the nicest people you'll talk to at any expo.
So nice. He's such a good dude.
Always makes me very happy. Always leave with a smile.
And I think he's in tune with the same kind of subversive approach to like comic book culture. Even him doing these riffs on shit tracks. So shit tracks are an American kind of thing that churches were buying these little comics to instruct children on
how to avoid the devil,
how to avoid Satan and all these things, and
also some really harmful stuff in there. It wasn't all fun and games. It was definitely it was very. There's a reason that some of those publications were banned in Canada.
Yeah, rightfully so. Yeah.
Which gave them an even more underground appeal to some people. So
Absolutely.
it's a fun thing to riff on for sure.
Totally. Yeah, I wanna rip
I
off
definitely have
Michael
had
here.
ideas of some chick track sort of things to do.
And Kyle Burrell's doing the interior art for these. So he goes by Kyle Hazard on Instagram, but he's another name that's been in the comic scene here in Alberta for quite some time, and producing a lot of stuff with Michael Mcadam. But both of these are basically little meditations on creativity and like doing creative work. I did enjoy the Indie Conspiracy a bit more than the Plague of the Spirit. The Plague of the Spirit just seemed a little too optimistic for me for a chick track. Like, do this or die is usually the message.
I like that the Indie Conspiracy is so has a cynical flavor to it.
Totally cynical. It oozes out. I love it. And him leaning into that is like one of his earlier works is Diaper Man, and Diaper Man had a lot of that element to it. So thanks, Michael, for these.
And I'll just flash this up quickly, even though we're doing the small stuff.
No.
This is a great way to get, I don't have a lot of Michael Mcadam stuff, and this was a great way for me to kind of get into it. So this is a collection of sort of the number ones of a bunch of different titles that they've done, and it was a perfect place to kind of enter the worlds that they're creating.
And full color.
Yeah, beautiful, really nicely produced. With some black and white stuff for the last issue in there, which I think is the the Twilight Detective Agency. But really crisp, really beautifully printed.
And check out the Hostess Twinks ad at the end for Twilight Detective Agency.
Yeah.
I think that's something else that he does a lot in his books. Is he's got those sort of spoof ads.
Plays on those ads that we all saw in the older comics as we were growing
70s era stuff, 80s era stuff. Sweet. Well, let's look at more Cam stuff.
Yeah.
We bought a lot of Cam stuff.
I've got a lot of Cam stuff. I've got some Rick Overwater stuff too.
So yeah, I'll just show. Well, Futility is Rick and Cam together.
And if you're not into Futility yet, get into Futility.
Yeah,
there
been
are four issues out. I think there's four. Plus maybe one more.
Yeah, he's got this fifth
He's
one.
got the Orange Planet Terror, which is a beautifully like square bound. Yeah. So basically, there's 5 of them out, and I already had all of them, so I didn't buy them. But it's one of my favorite things that independent comics coming out in the last several years.
Oh yeah,
I've been bothering them for quite some time now to put out more of it.
Definitely in that vein that I think Cam likes to work in. Just spoofing the past, and making you a little kind of grossed out at the same time, right? I can only imagine what this gelatinous fluid is that Buddy is floating in space in here. I'm pretty sure I know what it is if I think along the same lines as Cam and Rick.
And where they went with so as it progresses through the story, where they went with it, this is probably my favorite one here because they introduced this parasite that's now playing into where it is now, and this parasite basically, I don't want to spoil how it gets to him, but you can imagine when you look at this yellow pool here with his pants down, how maybe this thing. And look at the spines. He draws all the spines on this one, and you just imagine. Every time I'm told to just pee in the lake when I'm swimming, that's what I imagine. It's good. Futility is so good. I love Futility so much.
And then on that, some shitty stories from Cam.
Also some extra shitty stories.
Oh, I didn't even get that one.
You got it.
Some extra shitty.
Yeah. So.
Oh, these stories were pretty shitty, I gotta say.
They're awesome.
Definitely shitty. A little painful.
And you see his aesthetic for Futility kind of playing through in this as well. I got lots of the really visceral stuff.
Yeah. Bold colors.
Yeah.
Love it.
Awesome stuff.
Right? Right?
Frankly, dear, I don't believe that.
Good job.
Very good. And I picked up this one as well. This is the submission.
Yeah.
So Cam did a lot of newspaper and magazine submissions for things and collected them into this. And this is great. I think this. I hope to someday be in the same sort of thing where I can take the thing, maybe even some of the things that didn't make it or I hoped would make it, and pull a collection together. Really, really good collection.
I'm glad he's decided to give life to some of that stuff, because reading that it was rejected or he got no response on some of those things, it's like, what the hell? This is awesome.
Yeah, and that stuff can kind of just go missing if you're not careful.
Yeah.
I'll bring this up as well because Rick Overwater and Cam Hayden work together so much. This is actually a prose book. This is good old fashioned wordsmithing, and Rick is good at that. So I decided to pick this one up and give it a shot because it's my kind of thing. It's called The Black City Beneath. It's got sort of a old school steampunky science fiction.
That's what he was selling it to me as.
Underwater horror, and that I go for that.
That's fun.
That's the kind of thing I'm into. Like it's almost like Rapture from BioShock. That aesthetic.
Right.
And
I love that cover.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So Rick appears in this anthology as well. So Tall Tales of the Weird West. My next piece is going to be a Western based on some real life figures. So I definitely want to try to get some of that spaghetti Western stuff, weird Western stuff in there. And it's a genre that I think is kind of overlooked by a modern audience. Weird Westerns. DC did some cool weird Western stuff.
Yeah.
There's not enough of that. Okay, so I did very randomly picked up. I think I'm gonna start collecting these. These goofy ash cans that used to come with Wizard magazine or Hero magazine.
Cool.
So on the left, you got some Bart Sears, Brutes and Babes, Infinity with some of the worst graphic design that I think you'll ever see. Like, who is the comic company? It's not clear. Is it?
And that's off
Is it
center.
Brute and Burby?
Must be Brute and Babe. Babe? Is it Brute and Babe?
I think it's supposed to be based on the Wizard magazine instructional arts.
Wait, this is before the era of Richard Starkings and Comic Craft doing really good design and lettering. Must be before those times.
And then losing this ominous press in the bottom left as well.
Yeah, there's
so much going on around here.
As a designer, there's a lot of mess in this one that I would I don't know. Is that like a? I don't know. It looks like a animal with the glowing nose. I can't even tell what's going on.
Yeah.
It's of that era, right?
Yeah.
They just threw everything onto a page, and that was selling.
It kind of was, yeah. Some Keith Giffen story from.
So this is late '90s
Dark
stuff,
Horse.
mid '90s. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think this was part of
This screams the '90s to me.
Yeah, anytime you see Keith Giffen, he pretty much wrote everything that came out in the '90s. Yeah, Dark Horse Heroes, that one, whole line with like X and Ghost and stuff like that. I thought it was a pretty cool little line of comics, but really buying it for this format. Okay, yeah, there's Ghost. Buying it for this format. To me, it harkens back to a wonderful era of comics. Just gobbling that stuff up.
I like that sizing actually. That
round, ash can, right?
Yeah, like around 8 inches tall or so.
It's like in the gimmick era of comics, which I have to say is repeating right now. But that gimmick era of comics, what are some different things that we can do with the medium? And I think that left its mark on me because I always think about that as well. Like what can we do with what we have with these panels? Even Cam doing like the trading card thing or riffing on Chick Tracks, like all of it is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I just picked this up. It was Moses C. from, I believe, Winnipeg.
Oh, and they collected their Inktober.
Yeah, their Inktober stuff into a little zine here. I just saw this at some non-comic producer's table, like one of the vendors there, and I was like, "Where's this person from?" From Winnipeg. So, yeah, Moses C.
Very cute.
Yeah, nice work. Nice little glossy cover.
It's a good idea. I've been trying to figure out what to do. Now I'm starting to do Inktober for 2022.
Yeah.
What I should
You
do
should totally
again.
put something together. Yeah. So Scott Ford is another name that's going to come up a fair amount in this video. I bought a lot of his stuff at his table because really, how could you not? Like, his stuff is absolutely amazing. And speaking of people that are trying to do weird things with this medium, he's doing it, which you will see. There was one thing that I got from him that we can't show because I already used it and put it together. But this is just a collection of some strips that he had in a University of Winnipeg's newspaper. So really brief, real quick little read here about an alien who I think finds themselves in Winnipeg. And there's a little bit of commentary about climate change in here that I thought was awesome. And really just a fun little where's my buddy story. Kind of a road story. What do you got?
Oh,
man?
let's
have
show
some
these
yours.
ones first. So, a couple of people there at the same table. This is Kat and Teddy. These little zines that Kat was doing. I love this one. The most abridged Hamlet I can think of. It really just
Excellent work.
beautifully and like distilled down, and the drawing is great. She does all these great, lots of these. She said kind of happened during the pandemic. Is just a way, a nice creative outlet. Like how do I stay a little sane during? How do I set up how did she set up her life to kind of stay sane during quarantine times? Also, this really great little collection of things that they'd done for these sketch clubs. These really beautiful, nice photographs they took of their work. Yeah, really cool stuff with that. They have a web comic for the Fat Cat Life, and this is a collection of that. I think these were originally done as a web comic, but just really nicely done. Just really good. Like I just really like the style, the sketch sort of style, like a very quick, almost gestural style. And
Just making it happen.
yeah, nice stuff.
Comic a
Very
day.
nice. Teddy, their partner, was a graphic designer and also created this game. So I picked up this game that you can get on itch, so called Legumi, and it's a fun little game. I've played through about half of it, where you're a little bean-based guy and you collect beans to stay alive, and you're as you move around, every second you lose life, and it's a cute little game. I haven't finished it, but Teddy Kaboom does that, and this is Kat, which is Kay Hogan.
So cool.
And they were-
So cool. I love it seeing stuff like that at the cons.
seeing something very different.
Yeah.
Because when you go to cons now, so many people, you ask people, what are you here for? What do you like? And so many people say, I like anime or I like video games. It was really cool to be able to say, hey, if you like games, there's somebody over here with one. And
That's so cool. That's so cool.
I want to splash.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I just want to mention that there needs to be more of these Cat. Just as I'm
These
flipping through
abridged-
this,
the
these
abridged
are
Hamlet is
most
so
abridged Hamlet. I want
I want to
more.
see. I want to see Richard III. I want to see. I want to see Henry VIII. I want to see all of them. Give me a Romeo and Juliet would be a good one too.
Yeah,
All
definitely.
of them. Yeah, I want to see Kat take on
War and Peace.
everything. Yeah, give me some Dostoevsky. Oh, jeez. I want to show these off. This is
Oh my god.
so Miguel Molina, really nice fellow. Met them. They did a lot of these larger buttons as well, but these really struck my eye. These are sort of stamp-based looking things, but they're worlds from Fandom. So they had stuff from Naruto and things that if you're into more anime, but of course I'm more into games and science fiction and things. So I picked up a Blade Runner, got Dune. This is the grid from Tron. What's this one? Oh, Cowboy Bebop. That's the actual ship. Did a little Kakariko, little Kokiri Forest and the Great Deku Tree from Zelda, Legend of Zelda,
Oh, wow.
Ocarina of Time. There's Neo
That's
Tokyo
my favorite one.
blowing up.
Yeah,
And just
so good.
I want to find out who their supplier is on this, because the way they grab these really fine lines that Miguel creates and recreate it looks so beautiful. They had a whole set of these, and everything that Miguel did was really top notch, really beautifully done. The packaging even is just, I was really impressed with them, and the attention to detail. So every time you see the 86 is the year that the first Legend of Zelda game came out. Always something that would there's nothing on this that doesn't mean something
Yeah.
about it. So just
Love it.
that attention to detail is always nice to see.
Right?
As a very like pedantic kind of guy,
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Oh yeah,
attention
his
to
stuff
detail.
was all beautiful. I
Yeah.
ended up picking up one of his. It's almost like a stained glass piece that he did
Yeah.
of Naruto for one of my kids. Okay, Catherine Dubois from Edmonton. We did some tradesies there and picked up some of her smaller comics as well as her graphic novel Fits None. All of this is her original work. So Super Cat was just super fun. Just a simple, fun story. I think she's drawn this digitally. Looked awesome. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
Both of these are definitely about identity, figuring out who you are. And I really appreciate Catherine's approach to that because it's not self-indulgent ever. And I think she's probably had some of these conversations herself that she has in here, but putting them in a very strong sci-fi narrative, especially with Fits None.
And she was at panel 1 as well, so she does make it down to Calgary occasionally as well.
Yeah. She's around. She did a pretty long stint at Happy Harbor when Happy Harbor was doing its artist in residence in Edmonton. I think she did several months there. But she did an awesome job with this book. And yeah, I threw her some feedback already, but her stuff, the thing that I really appreciated about this, because she's telling a story with multiple timelines. And I think that's a risky endeavor when you're at our level, I think, of creating art. And she does it pretty seamlessly. Like her art keeps up. It pulls you along as it switches to different timelines. Could easily have put this book down if it were in less competent hands. And she executed it so well. If you see this book at a show, definitely pick up Fits None.
Yeah.
Awesome kind of Cronenbergish body horror stuff going in there. Just a reward.
Yeah, I need to give their stuff more of a look because I haven't picked them up myself yet, and I will definitely be doing so soon.
She seemed pretty proud of the Fits None book. She was pretty.
She's really good, and she's wonderful to talk to.
Yeah.
I think she goes Dubois draws.
I think Dubois draws. Yeah, we'll leave these links
Yeah,
in
we'll
the
have to put
description.
a lot of Instagram.
There's going to be a lot of tags in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I don't know if this is my last cam. This might be my last cam.
You got some stuff I didn't.
Some more stuff. This is with his other collaborator, Cole Pitts, and it's from that tongue-in-cheek comics. So basically, the concept is that they're telling B-movie ideas that they have. So it's like a trauma in a comic book, which is so great. And I'm excited for more of these. I'm definitely going to stick around for more B-movie garbage. But yeah, the name of this story is Emos.
And the sequel. Oh.
And the sequel. There's my understanding is they're going to be doing it in like 3-issue chunks. So I have yet to read the conclusion of the Emos arc. But looking forward to that. Love the cover, Cam. All these teeth, just. Ugh.
Yeah, once you realize, because I didn't realize at first what it was until I looked closer. And it really grabbed
it's all
you.
Pearly white.
Once you see it.
Yeah, awesome stuff. And then him messing around with some Canadian tropes of Stompin' Tom Connors, but we got Tomb Stompin' Connors here. Love the paper that he printed on.
Great choice there.
Yeah. Just a fun story. Thick blacks, solid blacks.
And now is this
so Stompin'
red
Tom
paper?
might be Jesus. Or he might have helped Jesus out of the cave, apparently.
Oh yeah. You stomp that too. Wow.
Yeah, it was so good.
That's wild.
Yeah, really fun.
Is this printed or is this on white paper or is this actually a rag paper? I can't.
I think
I'll have to look closer
got
at
a
it.
stock here. I
Very
could be
nice.
wrong.
Yeah, nicely
Yeah.
done in either way.
Yeah. It's got some green to it.
Very cool.
Yeah. These boots were made for stomping. That's all my like loose,
I got
kind of floppy stuff.
I finally picked up the rest of Nick's stuff I didn't have. So Nick Johnson is a peach. He's a real. I love talking to him. I love looking at his stuff. The aesthetic that they pull into their stuff is always incredible. I mean, look at this splash. I mean,
Yeah, he's got a
Wow.
few splashes here. There's one in Remedy that
Yeah.
I think deserves a call out as well.
just the always. Nick also always, one thing I really appreciate is that you can go really wild with a color comic, which is why I tend to stay with black and white, but they always choose a really good palette. You can notice here there's a consistent palette throughout, and that's done very consciously, and that you can't discount that. That's an aesthetic choice, it's an artistic choice, it's the difference between throwing everything onto a page and then doing it in a really smart way, and Nick always does it in a smart way.
Yeah, absolutely. I gotta call attention to this spread here.
Yeah.
Insane. And then this stuff.
Yeah.
Buddy's eyeballs, eyelids coming out. There's another one in here that's worth showing. I do want to do a deep dive on some of Nick's stuff. Nick and I are pretty old collaborators together. Like, I think some of my earliest comics I ever did was with him, and him with me. But I've kind of been a super fan of his going way back. That's how we met. I did some fan art for one of his comics that he did.
I always
in the early
loved, I loved
2000s.
Wolf Hands. I was
Yeah.
crazy about Wolf Hands, and I always wanted to see more of that since it left me off on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so I've always loved Nick's whole aesthetic. Is just it just shows how smart Nick is about this stuff. That they're thinking pretty far ahead.
Yeah,
as it goes.
yeah, hugely competent and fun illustrator.
Yeah, beautiful stuff.
Absolutes.
Yeah, I got a few more. Do you want to go through some of these ones first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it. I got
So-
some of those ones.
I'll include this as I'm talking about Shea Prue. Is it Shea Prue?
I think so,
Can I
yeah.
say that? Shay's entire style is so amazing. Shay did the cover for this compilation that Renegade Press put out that I wish we were in. I wish. Shay has this wonderful aesthetic style. I love this one because it takes the kind of tropes of your kind of learning books as a child, and then throws almost like a horror.
It's almost a
into it.
horror. Yeah.
So as you move through here, each thing that's added is kind of added to it and mushed together. And I'll give just one sneak peek about a later one.
So
You can see
good.
the evolution that happens is wild, and her style is so great. This compilation is incredible. The cover's great. She did a really great illustration on the inside cover for me.
I believe she was like she was an editor
Yes,
on this.
she did some of the editing of this,
Yeah.
did the cover. So I was happy to pick this up from her, and the work that's inside of it from various Alberta artists is
Local yokels.
wild.
Yeah.
Just the difference in aesthetics and the styles. Like if you want a good compilation, this is
Like Cam's
That's
in
the one to
there.
get. Yeah,
I
Cam.
think Jeff Martin's in there.
Nick
Nick's
actually
there.
wrote a piece in here
Oh,
that they had
okay.
someone else draw, and it's incredible, called Invader. Everything's so good. There's Invader there. This is the one that Nick wrote, and that was drawn by Maria. Yeah, Maria. It's all good,
Nice.
all really good. Love it. Pick that up if you can.
Yeah. We
worth
want to
it.
be in the next one. We're going to be in the next one.
Yeah.
It's inevitable. We already decided.
I want there to be a next one, and I want us to be in it.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I'll just show a couple other ones that I got
you
from
some more
Shay.
Yeah.
So this is kind of her experience, her maternal experience. Baby being Alice in the womb is her being pregnant, is Shay being pregnant with her daughter Alice. And it's a coloring book, full-on coloring book, very scientifically accurate. She makes sure to let you know of her research into this.
Yeah.
All joking aside about like coloring books and
And the
the
intricacy.
function of it, but look at these drawings. They're insane.
I mean, we're looking at like Jeff Darrow,
Yeah,
Mobius
absolutely.
level of craftsmanship in the line work and the detritus and things that being there for a reason.
Yeah.
It's got that sort of craft to it.
And like Alien at so many points, and she leans into that with some of these illustrations. Yeah, and then when baby's born,
And
all kinds of
fantastical
neat
as well.
stuff happens.
Yeah.
There's definitely a story here. It's not just a coloring book. I don't want to undersell
Yeah,
it.
Shay's interesting because there's subversive stuff in there that you could miss if
It's
you're
very
not
subtle.
looking if you're looking at her stuff from a further away sort of thing. You don't realize at first how the depth and the subversiveness.
Yeah,
of
like
everything.
this weird growth coming out of these. There's a cannon hiding in there in this block. There's all kinds of stuff. So she's really melding these objects together, playing with her art, playing with the colors. Yeah, really fun stuff.
And
Awesome
the
work,
ability,
Shay.
yeah, and the ability and the lots of hand lettering, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely appreciate that. I
Absolutes.
yeah, typography is a big thing for me. So
Let's look at some more Renegade Press stuff. Yeah.
Jeff Martin, yeah,
Jeff that's
is
a
in
good
this
place
one,
to
and-
jump into
and
Jeff
is done-
Martin.
Yeah, pick this up from Jeff. Renegade teamed up with the Slave Pit and did this awesome Guar. It's actually like it's a full story, but it's almost done in a compilation style. So it had different writers and artists for each of the characters from the Guar lore. And the Guar, and of course, the folks from Guar had a part in how their story was told. So you got Blothar, and you got everybody. You got Beefcake. I love Guar. I'm a big fan. So this was fun to pick up from Jeff Martin, who did one of the stories in here. Yeah, beautiful stuff. Really
It's cool to see a locally produced music book.
Yeah.
And I've heard about this book a bit. I heard it was decent, and yeah, I wonder if Alex Fimbo is a Guar fan. Must be. I mean, it's a beautiful book. It's really nice.
Produced really nicely.
The art's great.
Lots
in
of
here.
effort went into it.
Yeah, I'm excited to jump into this one. I'm not huge on Guar. I don't think I've listened to Guar since the 90s, but I have a feeling I'm missing out because all my friends tell me,
They're fun.
let's go see Guar.
Yeah, they're fun. They have I'm on their mailing list, so I get emails from them constantly.
You are a fan.
They're good with they just have good merchandising and they're interesting and it's
Yeah, the concept's awesome.
yeah.
And
they keep up the kayfabe at all times most of the time. So it's just fun to hear stuff from the way they talk about things.
yeah. So buying that from Jeff Martin's stable. So Jeff Martin, he's been in the comic scene in Alberta for quite some time as well. His earliest stuff, I think, was Rent a Thug. And that's where I kind of came into contact with Jeff. But he's still doing awesome. He's still making great stuff more than 10 years later. And I think Redcoats was a webcomic that was on the Renegade site for some time. And then these are the collected versions of two Redcoats. Two doofus soldiers, basically. And it's hilarious. It's this awesome commentary on British soldiers at that time, which I'm kind of learning about the whole purchase system right now, and Jeff Martin's work here just fits so well with I'm so pleased. So that's his Redcoats, and I also picked up from his table, he had this beautiful book, wrestling anthology called Kayfabe, which I don't think is to be confused with cartoonist kayfabe in any way, other than what that term means.
Yeah, just the common
wrestling.
vocabulary.
Yeah. So Jeff's got a story in here. It's not just Canuckies doing it. It's people from all over North America. Yeah, there's a nice little sketch that Jeff did there. Yeah.
Right on.
Oh yeah, let's talk about Pass Me By.
So I became aware of this when I saw Gord come with this beautiful edition with this slipcover, and I said, "What the hell is this book? It's beautifully done, and the story seems great." So I sprinted to Kat Simmers and Ryan Owen's booth in Edmonton and picked up both of these. They were so kind to have given me a little enamel pin, which plays into the Electric Vice storyline. That is the two characters you see in that one. This one here I love especially because they have a couple different versions of Electric Vice. This one here was kind of reconfigured for risograph printing. Risograph printing, if you're not aware, uses sort of these ink drums to do everything's basically printed in spot colors. So in this one, it's printed in this pink, and also I think it's a green. Yeah, so this pink and green. So these are the two inks.
Jumps at you.
And the beautiful thing about it is when you combine them, you get these wonderful interplays of how the color works together. And for them to think about this stuff, it's a different way of thinking when you're creating, and when you're making this stuff ready for print. And they nailed it. Oh my God, that's very beautiful. Good, very very good. I'm amazed with it.
They gave me the option of them, and I did like that version, but this one had the slip.
The slip cover.
The slip was very attractive.
The thing was, the second I saw risograph printing, I've been a fan of risograph since the early 2000s when I first became aware of it. I've always wanted to do something with risograph, so this for me is going to be like a master study of going through it and seeing what they did, and my own brain percolating on that. Until one day, hopefully, I can do something fun.
These two are awesome storytellers. That first book, to my understanding, it's won a bunch of awards. I reviewed that in the past when I was doing canoe reviews.
Yes,
and it was. So the story in Pass Me By 1 is about somebody who's got dementia, specifically Alzheimer's, and they're losing their memory, and how the people around them are coping with that, and the challenges that they run into. And Electric Vice, Pass Me By, is basically a prequel to this.
It's a story. Is it Rex? Is that the person's
name? I think so. So
it's Rex's. Yeah, it's a story of Rex when they were young.
Yeah.
So it's them having a sort of a lucid memory of something that happened to them in the past, and it's
so good.
It's very 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 good. I haven't read through all of Gone Fishing yet, but I went through Electric Vice, not with the finest tooth comb yet, but I did a very quick run through it, and it's really well told. And of course the rendering style that they use is so great. They're very
deserves
good
all the praise it gets. 100%. I picked up Misery Is Company, which was it's kind of a straightforward sci-fi thing about I would say almost like the Terminator meets the Grim Reaper.
I love that cover.
Yeah, so it's a horror book, sci-fi horror book, and somebody is unwittingly becomes the servant of some malevolent force, kind of like the Spawn, Deathlock, all that stuff. But it seems it's a little more, like the Grim Reaper, I think, is the boss here. So really neat stuff by Bradley. I think it's Wolgamuth, and I bought a beautiful print as well that's looking down at me. I already got it framed up on the wall. Good stuff. Really cool booth. Hard to miss his booth because the art is just so pretty, and the black on white, really really thick blacks, definitely draws you in. I think he's a Winnipeg guy, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's out of Winnipeg. There was a few folks from Winnipeg. There.
Good stuff. Speaking of black and white, I'll just show this one quick.
Yeah, do.
I picked this one up at actually panel 1. So Andrew Howell did this amazingly creative book. It's beautiful. I love the commitment. I was talking to Andrew about that. I love the commitment that they had to really doing the black full on, because when you see this book and you see the see it. It's just very striking. It catches your eye immediately, and really strong visual storytelling in this. Yeah, just you can tell.
Oh, look at that!
You can tell that they've got
Stunning.
a vision of how to put this stuff together, and he executes on it so well.
Yeah.
And yeah, big fan of Andrew. I was very happy to meet them and go through this thing.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I got a copy of that in my collection already. I regret not getting to his other book and grabbing that. All right, so this one, I don't know if I'm even allowed to show this. I got this book for free. The stipulation was that I was supposed to buy a print, and I don't buy prints normally. And he was like, okay, well, I can't legally sell you this. I can give it to you if you buy a print. So I bought the print.
Okay.
And somebody else at the show was talking about this book, and when they told me the concept, I was like, I need this book. So I sought it out. Yeah, this is an advanced reading copy. From
So yeah, maybe
uncorrected
don't
proofs.
show the inside.
Yeah, okay. We'll keep the insides. The art's quite good though.
Yeah.
And talking to the artist, Alan Wingcup, talking to him, he was saying, yeah, it was just the author had written a couple of books before. The Samuel Spitali had written a couple of books before, and just wanted some graphic design in this book that they finished. And a very important topic: how to win the war on truth, which is certainly in full swing at this time.
Yes, we're definitely swimming in a lot of mistruths. As
Yeah,
we say.
yeah. So I'm eager to read. I haven't read it yet.
A lot of alternate facts.
Alternate facts. A tool for sussing out alternate facts. Oh, not showing this. Okay. So Scott Ford, I'll talk about him again.
Yeah.
And
Please do.
where are you at with yours? Oh, you got Murder Bag.
We'll talk
Okay.
about Murder
Yeah,
Bag
yeah.
later. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a few things here from Scott Ford. Scott Ford is out of Winnipeg as well. The thing that attracted me to Scott Ford's table was the fact that he was playing around a lot with this medium. He had a whole paper craft that I already used and is on my kid's bookshelf. So I can't show that off, although I think it's ingenious. But I will show off his book Giant's
Wow.
Well.
I need to really get into Scott Ford.
So
Wow.
Scott's done something insane here, and the print run of these is understandably quite low. Like I think they're all numbered, and this is like number
Okay.
200 and
I need to
something
seek that
of
out
300 print run. Yeah, 267 of 300. So
Ooh.
he's probably running pretty low on these. Okay, so he's got this book can be read as a book, like so, but also it's all one piece, and it stretches out 20 feet.
It's one accordion
accordion.
folded piece of paper.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
20 feet.
To have the cojones to be able to try
Right?
to pull this off, let alone to pull it off in this fashion. And look how beautiful it is.
It's absolutely stunning.
Oh my
book.
god.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta beat
This
this
guy-
to the punch on this one.
Right? Like, I could have spent an hour at his table just going over all of this stuff. Pricey for sure, but I mean, when you're considering the production that goes into these things, yeah, you understand why. And then he's got the extras here. He's got process stuff, how he put this thing together,
Oh,
concept, character design. You get a full director's cut here.
That's just the cherry on top. Right
Yeah,
there.
yeah, right. Book assembly. And
Oh, so
there he
hand-
is,
hand
putting it all
assembled.
together. Oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah, right?
Scott,
Right?
I gotta send an email
Insane.
right after this.
And Scott's done like a full-on, like straightforward graphic novel with Arkland, who apparently this book was being published by another publisher, and he just recently got the rights back to it. So he's self-publishing it now. I don't know if Chi Graphic, yeah, Chizine.
They're still doing it.
That was his previous publisher, I
Gotcha.
think. But even this, right? the art in this is
Yeah,
insane.
I know, definitely. I know of other artists too who were trying to get the rights back to their stuff from publishers and self-publish. And if you can do it, if you can swing it, I get the appeal.
I think it would be critical for somebody like Scott, who's got those other projects like that Papercraft and then Giant's Well.
Yeah, because
he clearly wants to do some cool stuff
Yeah.
with the medium.
and how do you convince a publisher to do something?
Yeah,
like that?
right. Like he should have control of this stuff.
Yeah.
And then
It allows you to take those big swings and
like just his
beautiful
art book for Arc Land.
and the ability to really the color choices.
Yeah, his
the way
colors are
everything
amazing.
pops, in a way that almost defies what's possible in CMYK printing. Like some of the stuff is
look at
almost
that.
brighter than I'd expect to be able to see possible. But it's the right choices for color, the right choices for paper, the right choices for your printing.
It's a nice paper. It's thick. It's thick and glossy. Nice.
Nice work, Scott.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, honestly, one of the highlights of the show. All this stuff is amazing, but Scott, your visiting your table was a prize, my friend. And then I don't have too much else. I didn't get this at the show, but I did get it signed at the show and got to meet Renee now.
It counts though, because I meant to buy this at the show and forgot and ran out of time, and I kicked myself all the way back to Calgary.
Yeah.
Because I didn't pick this book up.
Okay, so I'll tell you folks what I kind of think here about this kind of work. And just talking to Nick Johnson, he's saying he's noticing a lot more adaptations of novels coming out. And that's a good thing. I think these kinds of projects really highlight what works with our medium, sequential art, graphic novel, comic book medium. Because it does add something to it. And especially when you've seen works like Handmaid's Tale that have been adapted so many times in so many different formats. It's always exciting to see like what comes out with,
See something
with
else,
formats.
a different way of looking at
Yeah.
it.
And
tell a
really
story.
makes you appreciate this medium. There was a Troy Little. He did a Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, which is, having read the novel and then of course the movie that came out in the 90s, both of which are genius works. Like,
Nice.
who was the director of?
A Fear and Loathing?
That was what's his name from?
It was, wasn't it Oliver Stone?
No, I think it was Brazil.
Terry Gilliam?
I think it was
No.
Terry Gilliam, wasn't it?
Get out of here. Can't be.
I feel like it
No,
is.
could be. Actually, you know what? You're probably right. But who knows? Talk.
No, we gotta end this dispute.
Loathing. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is directed by Terry Gilliam. Wow. Okay. Good stuff.
All right.
Good. I should have known that.
But okay, so you seeing that movie, it leads you to appreciate the impact that Terry Gilliam can have on a piece of literature.
The way he crafts a visual storytelling.
Yeah.
And a narrative. Yeah.
And Hunter S. Thompson having written something that transcends the original work, transcends the original format into these other formats. And here you get the same thing. Like Atwood, I haven't read too many of Atwood's comics that she herself wrote, but this is an adaptation by Renee now. And I mean, I don't know how much more good I can say about this, but it's so awesome when you can feel the emotions of the craftsman in the work that you're reading. Of course, we know what Atwood sounds like in all of these different adaptations, but I mean, even the actress who plays the main character,
Elizabeth Moss.
yeah, like you can appreciate what she brings to the table in a live action kind of situation. And then here again, Renee bringing her style to the page. She did an awesome little sketch of a handmaid. Oh, that was so cool.
That's awesome.
But her watercolors, holy hell.
Oh.
This is what I aspire to as I'm learning watercolors. She kind of inspired me to take up watercolors and play. I mean, there's so many good watercolor comic artists out there, but Renee is definitely a unique treasure in that regard. So much so, I got a couple of prints or a couple of her original paintings off of her at the show as well.
Composition in this is so strong. Like the it's like you know what they say about jazz music is about the notes they don't play. Here it's about what you don't draw.
Absolutely.
Feeling that using the white space really strongly is
Which
something,
works in this story.
which is something that I talk about white space a lot. Even when I'm teaching about design, I talk about white space a lot, and it's something that I still struggle with. So I would have been scared to do something like this. I probably would have ruined this by putting something in the background. But Renee, yeah,
So good.
knows
good.
not to.
The green that she's got here.
Yeah, really well done.
That yellow. Holy smokes. Like, she knows what she's doing.
Yeah, there's a lot of inspirational stuff in this book.
Yeah.
But not afraid to do the complexity and when but to make it, because this is meant to be oppressive.
So this is her first like longer story that she's done. I tried to get out of her what she was doing next, but she was pretty mum on it. So yeah, hopefully she keeps it up and keeps knocking these out. This book has won a ton of awards since it's come out. I believe it's won like Book of the Year even, and deservedly so. Yeah, 2019 is when it came out.
Yeah, I'll pick that up.
Amazing. And she's a delight to talk to. Absolute delight to chat with.
Let's talk about Murder Bag.
Yeah, Murder Bag.
So Trevor, I was very lucky that when I was at panel 1 here in Calgary, Trevor was the fellow posted up next to me. I had Laurie Cunningham on one side and Trevor Geisky on the other side. Couldn't ask for nicer neighbors to chat to the entire day. Picked this one up in a little tradesy, and it's a great little quickie story, like quickie zine story of two hikers finding what they believe is a murder bag in the woods on the mountain as they're going up. Really great little book. A joy to read, and Trevor said that they might be doing some more of this stuff because it kind of leaves you off wondering what's going to happen next. So I want to see the next chapter of Murder Bag. And Trevor, good work on it.
And Trevor's out of Calgary?
I believe so, yes.
That's awesome. And just to put it in context for you folks, like when you're making mini comics and you're kind of starting out doing this whole thing, there's so many varieties of approaches that you can take. And sometimes like the thirst to tell a story is so strong that you just want to get this out there and make it happen right away. And it's not unheard of for somebody to put their book together at a show.
And yeah, he did exactly that. He had finished drawing the final pages the morning of the show, printed them, and it came and was assembling and was selling them about as fast as he could assemble them. And
That's so awesome.
I was amazed with it,
awesome.
And I was super happy to see it. And doing a little thing like this is so great because now he's kind of, if he keeps going with this storyline, he got this wonderful little format to serialize it, and then you can always do something else with it.
Collect it
later
later.
on. You can collect it into something. You can even likely take this, do high res scans, blow it up even larger, and the sky's the limit. And his ability,
his nature illustration,
really
just as I
good.
was flipping through this, was awesome.
Really amazing. Really good
excellent.
line work.
Yeah.
Really, awesome work, Trevor.
I'm keen to it. Yeah, one more, Trevor. You're the hero, man, putting this together at a show. Way to go. So I think that's our stack. That's our full stack from those two shows. That's quite a bit. That's a good hour's worth of
We did good.
giggity yakking about all the fun stuff that we've got. So we got a lot of reading to do. So we'll go do that and expect a few more videos coming out here in the near future. We have a few planned, and we might even film some today. Stick around, folks. Hit us up on the Insta. We've got two Insta accounts to follow, so just Genki Comics with an X, the X at the end, and a G at the beginning. So Genki Comics at Instagram, and then
mine is with these two hands, YYC for YYC's Calgary. I'm doing a bunch of I'm doing an Inktober this year finally. Never done it before.
Yeah.
So doing some fun stuff and playing around with some techniques I've never done before and having a lot of fun. So yeah, check us out. Follow us.
And we have one more show coming up this year that we're aware of.
Yeah, for sure. One for sure.
Yeah. So that one's a zine show that happens through Shelf Life Books. We'll have all the details for that in the description as well.
So that's in November. I believe it's November 12th.
Yeah.
And, we'll put information about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, folks. Take care. See you next time. Bye.